Get ready for Monday on Morning Drive, where the #1 player in the world further proved why he belongs in that spot. We dive deep into the best of the best lessons you should learn today from the WGC Mexico champ Dustin Johnson, and it certainly isn't just about distance. He quickly is becoming a hot contender, though, when it comes to the Masters, which now is just a month away. So sports psychologist Dr. Gio Valiente, he's going to join us to talk about the mental states and the odds-on favorites this year at Augusta National. Then our travel insider, he's prepping you for another April event, one where a World Golf Hall of Famer and Gary Player will be back in the field. The 9-time major champ meets up with Matt Janella to tell you all about it and a new course he's creating not too far away. So grab your clubs as Morning Drive tees off now.
Yes, good morning, and thank you for choosing to start your week with us. In Studio AP, it is Monday, March 6th. Kyle Robinson alongside Damon Hack and a PGA Tour winner in Robert Damron. And I think it's fair to say, Robert, after witnessing what we saw in Mexico yesterday, there was a little bit of skepticism at the beginning of the week, but the first World Golf Championship event to be held south of the border was a big success.
A huge success. That was maybe, I'm really trying to think back of the more fun golf event to watch, and I can't remember one. It's the course played short, which is different for the PGA Tour. There were trees everywhere. The crowds, galleries were great. A lot of chip-ins, but then a lot of missed short putts, which didn't seem to blend. Great week.
Well, I mean, you take a look at some of these pictures, Damon. The crowds all week long were impressive, fantastic for them to be able to watch some of these kind of players in their hometown.
And I think we could be a little bit spoiled here in the U.S. We see players up close all the time. This is the first time a lot of these folks in the gallery had seen PGA Tour professionals up close, in person. The kids were smiling. The looks on their faces, I mean, they were in awe. It was a wonderful week. You want to talk about growing the game? I think the game grew in Mexico this week.
Well, yeah, and also great to see a short course hold its own, I have to say, against the biggest hitters in the game before the tour moves this week to another short course in Copperhead, Robert. It'll be interesting to see how they get on there.
Well, it's short, but
not as short.
Not as short because of the altitude. This course really, with altitude, the 15% difference played maybe in the 6,300 yard range, which is unheard of on the PGA Tour nowadays. So, again, a lot of strategy. It was a lot of fun. Copperhead's shortish also, but completely different.
Yeah, completely different. Well, let's say good morning now to Lauren Thompson as we find out what is trending today.
Good morning, Cara. What a weekend in the game. Now we start another week. And our first story in what's trending, let's kick things off with Dustin Johnson, who in his first start as the world #1 further solidified that spot, capturing the WGC Mexico Championship. Now winning 2 straight titles after the Genesis Open in those starts for him. The major champ started Sunday 1 shot back, then later leading by 4 when he made the turn, and then finished the day at Chapultepec Golf Club with a 1-shot victory over Tommy Fleetwood. Now on to Rory McIlroy, who had the chance this week with a win to take that top spot in the rankings from DJ himself. It also marked his first start back since a mid-January rib injury, and after rounds of 68, a sparkling Friday 65, and weekend rounds of 70 and 71, McIlroy wrapped up the week in Mexico City in a tie for 7th place. And Rory's big chance for a massive career milestone, that will happen in April, though. A career grand slam, that is, as he and the rest of the tour pros in the field and golf fans around the world, though, let's be honest, are counting down to the Masters. We are now just 1 month away from the scene at Augusta National. And Damon, I know we're ready for that, but we're still reeling from what we saw Sunday south of the border.
Quite a week for the world #1. DJ started the day 1 shot back. Robert Damron after birdies on 2 and 6. Here he is putting for birdie on 8.
Well, overnight leader Justin Thomas had just bogeyed 2 and 4, and look at that. Woo. That's a way to send a message early.
Struggled with the short putts on Thursday. Everything going in Sunday. Now this is DJ on the 9th hole, putting for birdie as well.
You know, this was the range that he really kind of struggled, but not right there. And best player in the world. He's going to make some of these.
Showing you why he's the best player in the world. That was for a 4-shot lead. After bogeys, though, at 12 and 13. Here he is, tough shot on the par 5 15th.
Huge momentum shot. This did not have to go this way. He didn't have to get this up and down. He needed to make that just to tie Jon Rahm at 14 under.
Absolutely. Rahm would then bogey 2 of the last 3 holes. DJ in the fairway bunker. Another tough shot here on 18.
Oh, a shot that with a wedge, sand wedge, probably so easy to hit heavy. But we're not the best in the world. He is. He didn't hit a head.
And you could hear the contact. What a great golf shot. Nothing seems to bother him. 2 putts needed for the win. Able to do it. He wins the WGC Mexico Championship. His 4th WGC title in his career, trailing only Tiger Woods in that mark. And think of it, 5th. The last year, he has 5 PGA Tour wins, that major championship, 2 WGCs, the BMW Championship, and the Genesis Open.
Well, and the win, Damon, came in his first worldwide start as the world's best golfer, a title he earned after his win at the Genesis Open just 2 weeks ago. He becomes just the 6th man to achieve that feat and the first to win in his first start as #1 since Adam Scott did so at the Dean and DeLuca Invitational 3 years ago. Now, statistics-wise, he led the field in strokes gained, tee to green, approach shots, and proximity to the hole last week. But one part of his game that wasn't so good, Robert, was putting inside of 10 feet. He missed 16 total, and he was ranked 74th of 76 players in the field. How does a guy rank so low in putting statistics and still win the tournament?
I've always thought that Rory and DJ have the explosive enough games everywhere else where they do not have to putt great in order to still win. He really kind of putted poorly, which was surprising. And the other surprising thing is not only did he putt not so well, he did it with his hitting. Again, we said this is a short course. This isn't one he can overpower. And I heard a long time ago, and I never got to use this strategy myself, but the best advantage of being long is not having to use it. You have options off the tee that shorter players don't. Dustin used all those options, managed himself so well. There's a big maturity jump, I think, in his game over the last, 6, 8, 9 months.
Think about the fact that he missed 7 putts inside 10 feet on Thursday. Wouldn't that send a lot of players to the equipment trailer? They're freaking out. What's going on?
Send them to the padded room with a straitjacket.
And that's what's so special about him. Nothing seems to bother him, whether he blows a major championship, whether he hits the shot out of bounds as he did on Thursday, has a shot falling out of the tree after he already hits a provisional. He has the perfect attitude to play this game. And also, it's amazing to me that a year ago we were talking about how talented he was. He's the most gifted player on the PGA Tour, the most talented player on the PGA Tour, but there was always a but. Now he's not just the most talented player on the PGA Tour, he's the best player in the game.
It's like he's learned how to best use that raw talent that he has.
Yeah.
You speak about maturity. I couldn't agree with you more. It's like he, as I say, learned the ways to really get that extra bit of distance or extra bit of precision. You know, he spent, as Todd Lewis said yesterday on Golf Central, an awful lot of time at the beginning of last week trying it out on the range with the altitude, figuring out what his new numbers would be. And he has been seemingly making some great decisions off the tee. 2, 3, 4 irons, a lot of time when other people were choosing to take drivers and, well, ending up more wayward.
Well, with the experience and the personality and attitude he's got, like you said, nothing bothers him. He's almost like the Terminator out there. He's got all the game to beat everyone, and his attitude is perfect. Sports psychologists say, oh, you got to be level, no highs, no lows. He's the epitome of that.
Yeah.
He just goes along like this, like nothing's happening.
Well, when you see the likes of Justin Thomas and Rory McIlroy, Damon, let their frustrations get the better of them, you have to wonder, really, if Dustin Johnson's attitude is the best one out there right now.
Also interesting, Jason Day talked about the burden of being the #1 player in the world. To Dustin Johnson does not look like it's a burden at all. Our burden right now is watch and learn. Are you ready? Let's go.
Let's unburden you a little bit.
Absolutely. I mean, DJ, we talk about this attitude. Let's start right here on the 6th hole. This would be a shot that would scare a lot of high handicappers, a lot of amateurs. Water opposite where you're trying to hit your shot, that's trouble for most.
It's absolutely trouble for most, and that's the first thing you see. Even DJ looks and he assesses this and he goes, oh boy, where do I not want to hit it? Water. So what does he do? He uses the club that he needs to hit it a little lower, and when we roll it in just a second, watch how shut that club face is. He wants to hit it solid, but he takes what the shot gives him. If he's going to make a mistake, he's going to make a mistake short.
Right.
And let's go ahead and roll it. I'm going to show you what happens. Watch first. Club face shut as he takes it back. He wants to make sure he makes solid contact. He's landing it in the rough. It didn't have to take the perfect bounce and end up that close where he can make his par, but he did eliminate that bad one. That's just good strategy.
No need bend and the ball shooting across the
flinch,
green.
No please, no cold sweats.
Great, great shot. How about the 10th hole? Now with the flat stick. We talked about the trouble that he had earlier in the week.
I like this, and he's got this putter over the older style he used to use, and I'll tell you, yes, he putted poorly this week. The greens were tough, but overall, he has been putting better, especially this range, and I think I can tell you why. Watch how when he putts this, the handle and the head move almost the same distance. Watch what happens when we roll it. there's no hinge on the way back. The putter face itself doesn't start with this loft and go this way. It goes this way. And I think on a really short putt, it's less room for error when you have to come back to impact in that same spot. If you just move the handle as far as the head,
gets it done.
Simplify it.
Nice that his heartbeat is probably steady no matter what shot he's facing on the golf course, including 15. This looked like a lot of trouble. The guys in the broadcast, Roger Mopley, were talking about they physically couldn't hit this shot just because they can't get down that low anymore.
Well, you know, their vertebrae are a little shorter. They're probably lower than they were when they were starting. But if you watch on a normal bunker shot, let's say we're just in a flat bunker shot, and I set up to it normally, and my head is, let's say, you know, 5 feet off the ground. Yours would be 6 feet off the ground.
Right.
That's the goal. So now that his feet are way above it, he wants his head to be where it normally would be on a flat one. So look how far he's bent down and how far he's bent his knees. What that does is gives his chest, arms, and eyes the same look of a flat bunker shot. So let's roll it and see what happens. Head stays right there.
Yeah.
Knees finished low. Beautiful. Now watch this. Watch the angle of this knee. Angle of this knee is going down. If he's doing anything, watch that right knee dropping.
Yeah.
If he's doing anything, he's going down after it. He's not standing up. Again, big mistake would be clinking it long, zipping it over the green. Nope.
Why are you looking at me? Well, I guess I'm the only one in this segment.
You're the only one here.
I know. How about the 18th hole?
I'll look away from you this time.
Thanks. Another tough bunker shot here.
This is a really tough bunker shot. We said it earlier. One, the whole tournament's on the line.
Yes.
It's so easy to hit fat, a shortish 100, 120 yard. He's got probably a sand wedge here. The ball actually was nestled down.
Right.
There's a trick to this. Now, one, you want to hit it thin, if anything. Err on the side of caution, just like we're talking about. Hit it thin. If he hits it thin, there's a chance to hit the green, a chance to maybe go over. Way better than short. Watch what happens. You hear that, how solid he hits it? Now, here's a little key for you or anyone else that's listening that wants to hit that ball solid, but man, I hit it fat. When you look down, normally you look at the back of the ball. Try looking at the top of the ball or even the front of the ball. What that does is make sure you err, the bottom of your swing is in front. You're going to catch it thin, hopefully, and it's a good little key to erase all those bad thoughts that might sneak into your head over a shot like that. Look right dead at the top of the ball, focus on it. Don't miss it behind the ball.
Love it. Great instruction from Robert on the #1 player in the world as we send it back to Cara.
Thanks, Damon. Yeah, Dustin Johnson called that his best shot of the entire week. But now we're going to go out to Missouri, where our travel expert, Matt Janella, has returned to somewhere that has a special spot in his heart. And he'll be joining us live, all show from a resort that annually plays host to the game's legends. So let's welcome him in now. Good morning, Matt. Tell us exactly where are you and why you're out there today.
Good morning, Cara. Yes, I'm in Hollister, Missouri right now. And as you mentioned, I was here on October 15th with my bride-to-be and some close friends. And I got married here at the chapel at Top of the Rock. It's a special place. The reason why I picked this place is because in all of my travels, you know, there's not many places that far exceed your expectations. And I'll tell you, this place, Branson, Missouri, Top of the Rock, when you come here and you see what all that Johnny Morris, the owner and founder of Bass Pro Shops, has created, this is just absolutely something spectacular. And he hasn't stopped there. I'm here to report on the new Gary Player course. There's a new Core Crenshaw course going in here. But the reason, obviously, that we're here right now is Media Day for the Bass Pro Shops Legends of Golf at Big Cedar Lodge, which will take place April 17th through the 23rd. So we'll have Johnny Morris on today. Gary Player will join us, and lots to talk about.
Wow, exciting. Some great guests, including the Black Knights. So with that event then, the Bass Pro Shops Legends of Golf, just over a month away, can you give us a little preview at all on what names we might expect in the field that week?
Well, Jimenez Olazabal, John Daly, Jerry Kelly, Steve Stricker, all these guys, not to mention, as we said, Jack Nicklaus, Ben Crenshaw, Gary Player will be back here in a month to take on, you know, we're talking about golf and short courses. They brought in the Jack Nicklaus short course and put it into competition 4 years ago. I think it was one of the greatest things to happen to competitive golf. We talk about, and I report on short courses a lot, and I just think the justification and validation of what is short golf into a competitive atmosphere was really a game changer. I'm very excited about it, and obviously right behind me right now in Hollister, Missouri is another Gary Player short course here at Big Cedar Lodge, and we'll talk a lot more about that later in the show.
Yeah, I cannot wait to learn a bit more about that one that's going to be unveiled, as you say, with you alongside Gary Player later on, and it will be live on our show today. So, Matt, thank you very much. We'll check in with you again later, but now we'll send it back to Lauren.
Thank you so much, Cara. But let's get back to Mexico City in a not-so-shining moment by the 54-hole leader, Justin Thomas. He was 3 over on the front nine. Frustrations were definitely brewing. And then this on the par 5 11th hole. A bit of a club toss. Could have been a lot worse with that gallery so close to the left of that tee box. He goes and retrieves that club. Then what do? What's the easiest way to explain what happened on the hole for these tour pros? They go to Twitter. Justin Thomas, yes, I'm an emotional player, something we all knew before. It's in my character, always has been. I always have fire in me. Sorry to those who were offended by his actions. Well, this sparked quite the chain of responses from other guys in the field. Let's start with Rory McIlroy, who made a little light of it, though. He also put on his analyst hat, and he said it was on plane, though, so hey, you should be proud of that. He even drew a line, something we do a lot of times on Golf Channel. He wasn't the only one to join in on this response. Ricky Fowler, he too was playing in Mexico City. Ricky Fowler, he posted this as part of that strand. Practice makes perfect for both Justin Thomas and Rory McIlroy. So let's keep those responses going. Justin Thomas, though, remembering what happened at Doral back in 2015, saying, hey, Rory McIlroy, I do learn from the best. Hey, both of these guys are on plane when they do a club toss, Damon, so that's kind of a silver lining.
Tell you
we're
what,
talking about this.
No doubt, LT. These players know that golf is such a mental grind, but that leads to a very interesting question. Who on the PGA Tour is in the best mental state 1 month away from the Masters? Dr. Gio Valiante has that answer. And yes, also coming up, we continue our examination of the proposed changes to the rules of golf. What should you know about penalty areas? You will find out next on Morning Drive.